fire the living shit out of the Indiana Fever. So Indiana Fever, and it's been my belief that they will freaking fire everyone. And I do believe this. So if you're a Fever fan and you're hoping they'll keep Caitlin Clark, it's my belief that when push comes to shove, there's no way they can let her get away. They will fire everybody and start over. That's my belief. I cannot imagine the level of fumbling the bag that would have to be done.
What happens when Gatorade tries to ride the Caitlin Clark hype train but forgets who's driving it? You get a PR meltdown now with added electrolytes. The WNBA thought they had a slam dunk. Instead, it clanked off the rim straight into a media firestorm. And wait until you hear what fans really think. Fever management might want to brace themselves for this poll. Oh, and Caitlin just casually pulled in $660,000 like it's spare change. Get your popcorn. This one's wild.
Clark meant to the WNBA.
Everything. She's changed the dynamic and history forever for women.
I see a lot of young girls here today, and I see how inspired they are, and she's even gotten me back into basketball.
I think she has brought attention. She did it for us. We had never watched, and we have become big fans.
I don't think her contributions have been extreme as what people think they are. I think the league in itself has been getting better, and that's really what we should be focusing on.
I think she's brought a lot of attention to the WNBA, and it's needed.
I think it's great. I actually grew up watching the WNBA, so it's really exciting to see a resurgence.
She meant everything. I never watched it before.
If Caitlin leaves the Fever, I'm out too, and that's not a whisper anymore. It's a full-blown rallying cry. She's not just in the WNBA, she is the WNBA for a whole new wave of fans who couldn't have picked Indiana out on a map 6 months ago. At this rate, the Fever might want to call a custody lawyer, because if there's a breakup coming, Caitlin's taking half the fan base with her.
And there's enough votes here. This is a good test to see how bad this would be. Swag put this out, and it's starting to make the rounds. I voted. Okay, Fever fans, answer this. If Caitlin leaves Fever, would you still support the Fever? We got 1,145 votes here. Nope, my bags are packed is far and away.
These aren't casual fans, they're diehards, converted, baptized, and fully immersed in the Church of Caitlin. Zip codes and team colors don't matter anymore. Caitlin is the logo. Her jersey isn't just a uniform. It's a GPS. Wherever she goes, they follow. Loyalty isn't to Indiana, it's to her. As for the rest of the roster, love and respect, but they're just part of the supporting cast.
Letting her cook. Me dinner.
I'm buying Powerade stock.
Is it a play on, like, women shouldn't? No, they didn't do it on purpose. There's no way. How you came up with this and not in the back of your minds, like, oh, they're just going to be like, oh, it's women. She just needs to cook. Didn't think about that in the PR room. Look, I'm a big advocate.
But when the lights go down and it's time to choose between the franchise and the phenom who made you care, there's no contest. It's double C or bust. Fever fans are sweating not because Caitlin's underperforming, but because it's starting to look like a bust for the team. Oh, she's doing exactly what she was brought in to do. Bring attention, boost ratings, pack arenas, and maybe just maybe turn this struggling franchise into something resembling professional basketball. The problem? The only person who hasn't seemed to notice might be her coach.
Listen, NBA players make 50% of revenues. WNBA players make 9%. And now the merch sales are up 500% and attendance is up 40%. So they're going to get a raise. There's no question. And I don't really care that the previous 25 years, they didn't make a lot of money or lost money. I don't care. They're in the middle of a negotiation and they're on a heater. So it doesn't really matter. I've said this before. I made an investment for 5 years and it lost money. And I got about 6 months left in the investment. And in the last 6 months, they started making cash. I'm not bailing on the investment. I want to finally get my money back. So they're going to get a raise. They're finally turning a corner. But and negotiating in any business is all about current momentum. It's not about 12 years ago. It's about current momentum.
Because somehow, the game plan sounds less like empower your superstar and more like, maybe next quarter. Which is hilarious. Spoiler alert, they're not winning. They're losing. And losing ugly. But come postgame, it's the same tired script. One player can't hit water if she fell out of a boat, goes 2 for 14, and the coach says, keep shooting, honey. They'll fall eventually. Meanwhile, Caitlyn takes one contested 3 in crunch time, and it's instant lecture. That's not just confusing, that's borderline performance art. Fans aren't blind. They see what's happening, and they're not sticking around to watch the slow-motion sabotage of the only reason they bought tickets in the first place. The message is loud, clear, and repeated more times than a WNBA highlight on ESPN3. If Caitlyn leaves, we leave.
Clark is a media driver. She is a ratings driver. Think about the NBA post Magic and Larry, the NBA post Michael Jordan, tennis post Serena Williams, golf post Tiger Woods, right? There are certain athletes that drive the sport more than others. And that's not to take away from anyone else drafted tonight. That's not to take away from the other incredible superstars in the WNBA.
Because this isn't just fandom, it's migration. And Caitlyn Clark, she's the monarch butterfly leading the charge. These fans aren't just packing Fever merch, they're carrying portable allegiance. They don't care if she lands in New York, Las Vegas, or the Bermuda Triangle they're following. Team changes names, cities, or even rebrands as the toilet paper tornadoes, doesn't matter. If CC's on the roster, they're all in. This isn't a trend. It's a full-scale phenomenon, and Fever management should be scared. These fans aren't being dramatic. They're stating facts. Caitlyn is the reason they even gave the WNBA a chance. It wasn't slick marketing, flashy promos, or Instagram reels. It was one Iowa kid with Steph Curry range, insane court vision, and the charisma of a late-night talk show host. She made women's basketball must-see TV. Now imagine voluntarily sidelining that. It's like finding a gold mine, then deciding to pave it over for a strip mall. It makes zero sense, and the investors are furious. And yes, fans love the rest of the squad. Nobody's trying to erase the rest of the roster.
Search don't bother me. But why do you take a shot at the golden goose, Caitlyn Clark? You guys were flying before she arrived on one of those airlines that made you pay for a cup of water. One of those airlines that is the planes are the color of a highlighter. Now you're flying private. Okay, if you're in a band and you're staying at the Motel 6 and you add a band member and now you're at the Ritz-Carlton, keep your issues to yourself.
The worst part? It's starting to look intentional, like some twisted logic behind the scenes. Keep the rookie humble. Don't let her get too big. Make sure the veterans get their touches, even if their shooting percentage is closer to winning the Powerball than league average. Meanwhile, fans are screaming, just let her cook. But nope, every time she heats up, someone yanks the pan off the burner. Add in awkward body language, tense pressers, and questionable late-game calls. And suddenly the Caitlyn Clark fanbase isn't just loyal, they're furious. They feel sold a bill of goods. You can't hype your superstar, plaster her face on every brand from Gatorade to garden hoses, then treat her like a glorified decoy on the court. That's not strategy, that's slow-motion sabotage. So, what if she leaves? Simple. The WNBA faces its biggest fan exodus since streaming killed cable. One day it's packed arenas and record ratings. The next it's crickets and reruns of Ninja Warrior pulling bigger numbers.
3. I'm going to pass on that question, actually. WNBA star Caitlyn Clark is transforming women's sports. She fills arenas night after night, and her games have smashed TV viewership records. And if you watch Clark play, well, it's not hard to figure out why. She makes deep three-pointers look easy. And like all stars, wants the ball when the game is on.
And don't think this is just talk, these fans aren't bluffing. They've already started scouting other cities. Maps, spreadsheets, group chats are buzzing. Some have rental apps open in Phoenix. Others are learning Las Vegas zip codes. Caitlyn Clark watch parties are popping up in states she doesn't even play in yet, just in case she gets traded. They're not tied to a logo, they're tied to a legacy. They didn't fall in love with Indiana basketball. They didn't even know what a Fever was 6 months ago. This isn't just fandom, it's a hostage situation. Fever management had one job: don't screw this up. Yet here we are, watching them seemingly try to break the only thing that's working. Caitlyn Clark fans didn't come this far to be ignored, and they're not going to quietly cheer while she's reduced to a glorified ball shuttler. So yeah, when they say they'll leave if she does, believe it. Because to them, Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's the product. The whole ecosystem revolves around her. Take her out of Indiana, and that team's just another name in a box score. Put her anywhere else, and that city instantly becomes the epicenter of WNBA fandom.
I think it's like something where if you are a star in the WNBA, like Caitlin Clark, she's probably one of the few people that anybody you can mention to somebody that knows sports will know Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
She's getting a ton of deals. Coke, Gatorade, you name Nike deals. Now, I know a lot of the other players, like if you're the 12th person on the team, you're probably not making that much money, but I just feel like coming out like this, what are they going to bargain with? What is their like thing they're coming with that's going to change their salary? And that's what I was trying to figure out. I couldn't understand because they're already rev sharing. The NBA already gives them money, compensates for the loss they make every year because they lose.
Fans aren't being emotional, they're being realistic. They don't owe the Fever anything. They gave the team a chance because of Caitlin. They stayed because of Caitlin. And they'll leave because, well, Caitlin might not stick around if the current nonsense keeps up. Maybe it's time to stop treating her like a side character in someone else's drama. Because if she walks, it's not just a trade, it's an extinction-level event. And this time, it won't be a fever dream. It'll be a full-blown nightmare. Stephanie White's coaching philosophy less about developing your superstar, more about micromanaging her into irrelevance. At this point, it's not even subtext anymore, it's barely coded Morse code flashing through every press conference. Caitlin Clark was never my pick. Sure, she smiled for the cameras and talked about adjusting systems. But now that the season's rolling, it feels like she's being forced to shrink into the quiet, deferential, don't rock the boat player the old guard can tolerate.
Bird. She had Van Slugenhagen on her. She was like, I'm offended that y'all have white defensive players guarding me, and she put her in the torture chamber. You should have known from her little face that she didn't want this matchup from the beginning. Caitlin reminds me of what Dame does. If anybody ever noticed, her first shot always a three. First quarter, second quarter, third. She sets the distance on her first shot, so you have to guard her there. Now she can do whatever she wants to do. She's playing a chess game. That's what Dame does. He starts his game off. He's going to shoot a deep-ass three.
But here's the kicker. Caitlin Clark isn't built for the back seat. She's not an accessory to some outdated game plan held together by gum and vibes. She's the engine, the GPS, the Spotify playlist, and the reason the car even started in the first place. And yet, game after game, you can practically see Stephanie White handing out emotional speed bumps and strategic U-turns like she's directing traffic instead of running an offense. It's wild because this isn't even about subtle disagreements over play style anymore. It feels personal, like when corporate drops someone into your house and you're forced to host the dinner party with a smile. Except here, the dinner guest is cooking 5-star meals, paying the rent, and still getting told to just relax and pass the salt. Let's call it what it is, resistance. From day one, it seemed Stephanie White was gritting her teeth through the Caitlin Clark era, all the high-minded talk about embracing her game? Vapor. Instead, we get game plans where Clark's parked in the corner while teammates with the green light toss up bricks like they're building a WNBA-themed Olive Garden. Endless breadsticks. No buckets. And yet when Clark squeezes out 15 assists, 23 points, and some viral highlight while dodging elbows and referee chaos, the reaction? Silence. No celebration. No praise, just another tight-lipped post-game speech about spacing or letting the game come.